Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. So, running you through today a new little project that I'm about to launch, which is a new product line. So, it's his shirts for her. So, basically, oversized men's shirts with Indigenous art. So, as I like to call it, First Nation culture and Australian fashion. So it's a merge between those two to create an Australian style to sell internationally. So something that is authentic to Australia, but also translates across the world. Which is quite good. So what I want to talk to you today about is just setting up the sales funnel. So each sales funnel is similar to a website, very similar on setting it up with the drag and drop. If you get into the coding is much more complex. So I don't mess with that jazz. But essentially what we have is we have a blank canvas that we want to try and first create a framework for what information will be presented. And then we want to look at like how we're going to present it. So like what do we want to put on there? Then how do we want it to visually look on there? And then the third step is to color code the background and get all of our color scheme done. And then the next step is to get our video, photo, content up on the funnel. And then once we've got that content up there, we create copy that aligns with it. So essentially, this being targeted at women, we want to have nice pale colors. Now, your first color scheme isn't your final color scheme. So I like to use it as a rough estimation. And then as we refine it, and after the content and the videos and all that, and then the copywriting goes up, that's when we do our final edit for the color scheme, because we will see different colors that come along with different bits of content. So one content might be very bright, so we might want to go a little bit more pale, you know. or another piece of content might be a contrasting color, so we might want to switch up our color. So I just say get something rough there so that you've got a bit of a visual representation, because this is the visual representation of our funnel, how we're going to sell the product. Okay, so I'll talk you through a little bit about it. So first and foremost, we've got a little navigation menu up here, which is our, I guess, header. And what we want to do is we want to just have our brand or our product name up the top, our logo for the product or the brand. And then you can do more. So if you're building out a website, we can have home, about, maybe contact us, or maybe like team, or maybe products or workshops or learning, whatever you want to put on the website. Because essentially the difference between a sales funnel and a website is a sales funnel is one page. So one page is one action. So for example, on this page, we would want to get them to purchase a product. Okay. And then we might have the purchase of that product. So by them clicking, I want to buy, it prompts them to the next window or the next step of the funnel, which might be the upsell. And then if they don't take that, or if they take that, it puts it to a downsell, where we have a higher priced item. So let's say, for example, in financial terms or pricing, our main product, we want to have it, depending on what we sell and all of that. For shirts, we want to have it between $29.95 and about $49.95 would be the higher limit that I would want to go. If it is, design, custom, in terms of like having high quality materials like bamboo, any of those, organic cotton, any of those big names that people associate value with, okay, then we want to keep it under 50. So if we're doing cotton shirts, we want to keep it under 50, just because, you know, we don't want to be selling an inferior product above market price. Because if we do that, what will happen is it will hurt the brand, because it will be incongruency with what we're trying to achieve. So for example, for me, I don't believe in paying over $50 for a 100% cotton shirt, you know, unless it's one of the big brands like Calvin Klein, you know, your designer brands like Van Heusen, you know, you've got like Black, all of that. I'm just naming Australian ones because we're in Oz. So, you know, but unless it's a big brand or there's some intrinsic value behind the design or the materials or the brand or company, then what's going to happen is there's going to be a disconnect. Okay. So for example, if we're doing recycled cotton, if we're doing bamboo, organic, you know, eco-friendly, ethically sourced, you know, any of those sort of things where we can attach the meaning behind what's trying to be accomplished behind the price of the product. You know what I mean? So if we were doing, like, for example, 100% organic bamboo, then we would probably want to be closer to $69.95 upwards of it, like $99.95 for a single shirt. Just because me personally, I found that those price points are quite commonplace in the marketplace. So it sits around the median or around market value, the market equilibrium. So what we want to do is we want to sit between that, not because we can't get more for our product, but because we want to pick up the majority of sales with our sales funnel. So we don't want to only be picking up the 10% that want to spend 40% above market value for a product, because then we're closing out 90% of the audience. Now, if you want to niche out and you do want to go that route of charging, you know, being one of the price leaders in terms of, you know, you're the highest charger and you have the best quality and all of theirs, best designs, whatever it may be, that's great. When we're looking to create a project in terms of a product launch or a brand launch or anything like that, I wouldn't suggest going straight to that niched out, just because it's a very, very long way to go. I personally go that way, but it takes years to do what targeting the general you can do in months, weeks, and weeks. So, you know, the thing is what we want to do with a sales funnel is we want to increase our average sale per 10, per 100, per 1,000, up to around between 70 and 90% conversion rate. So how do we do this opposed to an organic website, for example? So the analogy I use is, take, for example, that you've got two shops, okay? And you've got the shop front windows and they're full of products, you know what I mean? And you're looking at them and they've got on sale, special, you know, the prices are right there, all the info cards there, you know, this, that, and the other, okay? And that's at both stores. But at the second store you walk past, there's a salesperson out there just asking you questions, telling you a bit about the brand, telling you a bit about the products and all of that. You're able to relate and connect to them. So the thing is with a website, because there's so much going on, okay, and people make them too damn freaking complex, because they don't need to be. Like, essentially, you just need one message. If you need 40 or 50 different products for your business to survive, it's not a sustainable business. If you cannot come up with new products, okay, to bring into the market and then dispose of when they're done, like, you're holding on, okay, to all these old revenue streams, and the downside is they start to turn. and then they become unprofitable. And then what they do is they counteract your profitable products. So what you want to do is you want to, if products are high value and they're highly desirable, and you do a 6-month sale tour or whatever, and you hit your sales goals, but it's still going, definitely keep it on. But you got to do analysis and cost benefits, like cost benefit ratios, and analysis to find out, is there any like costs, or is there any variables that are influencing my other products in terms of, is it negatively affecting the performance of my other products or performance of other parts of my business, all these different things. So the problem is a lot of businesses take the lead of the companies, and companies just keep releasing products. Apple's the only really leader, I guess, in the mobile phone space of deactivating old devices to encourage people to uptake the new technology. So for example, with my product that I'm launching, it will be one product at a time, and then we'll have either a lot of 1,000 or 10,000 units. Once they're up, we move on to a new design. Okay, so the goal is to keep it ever evolving, ever new, but also create a way that people can repeat buy. You know what I mean? But it also keeps it a little bit nimble, because we don't have to worry about, ordering in 1,000 shirts and then only selling 200 of them and having all this stock left over. Like the goal of this product is MVP. So minimum viable product. Okay. How do we get a product to market at the lowest cost and lowest risk with maximum exposure, and maximum effectiveness? Okay. So how do we do that? Well, one is, let's set a lot. So how many items we want to sell in a specific campaign. And then what we do is we go out and we sell them before we order them. So we're ordering to like on-time delivery sort of an approach, but there is going to be delays. So there's always going to be delays when getting it done. In future projects, what you're able to do is you're able to sell half of them and then order it in, or do things like that. But for the first run, you really want to prove the concept and achieve the goals before investing, because you can always refund people money. You know what I mean? Like if you're aiming for 1,000 units in your first 6 months, or your first month, I would say it wouldn't take you 6 months to sell 1,000 units. So if you're doing that in your first month, and you've got a 15-day delay, so it's going to be about, if someone bought on the first day, it's about 45 days before you've got the product, and then you ship it out over another 2 days. So a way to get around that is to be proactive. So for example, for everyone who purchases, what I will do is it'll be between 10 and 20% discount on their next sale, as a thank you for understanding that delivery times may be a little bit longer on the first one, but we'll be wrapping that up and getting that tighter as we go along. So the goal isn't to be perfect when you start. The goal is to start with whatever you have, whenever you can, like it's now, get things happening, get things in place, so that by the time hesitation sets in, or by the time, you start to wane in your momentum, you've already got all this proof of concept already. But if you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're planning and you're trying to get things perfect before you start, what will happen is you will not procrastinate, but because you will have nothing to show, okay, and nothing to I guess no milestones to sort of uplift the momentum, what'll happen is the negativity and the doubt and all of that will become so much easier to follow because there's nothing already done. So it's quite easy to pause a project that you haven't invested anything into, in terms of, you haven't purchased stock, you haven't done any marketing, you haven't built out socials, you haven't built websites, you don't have a product, all these different things. But one of the important things is when you're first learning, you do have to take a period of time to bring yourself up so that you understand what's happening. So you do have to do massive amounts of education, massive amounts of understanding your market, understanding your buyer, understanding, your products, your pricing. Like, where do you sit? Are you in the middle? Are you the higher end? Are you one of the cheaper ones? Where does your brand, like, where do you want that brand or that product to sit? Do you want it to be cheap and affordable and, available to everyone? Or do you want it to be higher priced and more exclusive as an exclusivity offer? There are many arguments for both of those. They're both effective strategies. The downside to going with the cheaper is if you try and be the cheapest. So there's a difference between being cheap and the cheapest. If you try and be the cheapest, there is no room for the second lowest price leader. So if you are a dollar or two above your competitor, like, you don't benefit, okay? Your competitor benefits. You might still get sales because it's quite cheap and maybe your competitor doesn't have as great a service and all of that. But the downside is those type of buyers are price sensitive. So they're only focused on price to quality ratio. So if they're paying a lower price, they accept a lower quality. The same is said for the higher price. The more you charge, the higher the quality the buyer expects. So if you're charging $89 for a 100% cotton shirt and it's shit quality, people are going to be pissed off. Okay. If you're charging $29.95 for a 100% cotton shirt and it's shit quality, people won't be as pissed off. They'll still be pissed off because it's shit quality. So you got to make sure that a minimum standard of quality that you want to hit for your product is met. Okay. And when it comes time to deliver, you invest and you focus on delivering. Don't cut corners when you're delivering. Don't be lazy. Like, don't disrespect your buyers because in the next run, you won't have them. Okay. So you have to respect your buyers. Okay. And treat them with respect and give them a product that they want. Something that makes them feel good, something that makes them happy, something that solves a problem for them. There's many different things that you can offer to your consumers. Okay. You could offer them information, education. What do you know that could benefit them? Because if you're 100% focused on your consumer experience will be 100%. Okay. If you're focused 100% on your product, the dysfunction between you and your consumer will be great. Okay. There'll be a large void between your product and understanding your consumer because you're too focused on the product. The product doesn't matter. Okay. What matters is what experience are you trying to recreate, create, replicate with that consumer. So for example, for this product, it's light, fun, versatile fashion. Okay. The whole point of the brand is to help people express themselves. Okay. So the goal with everything around the brand, especially in around the product, the pricing and all of that, is it's something that's not high priced. Okay. It's quite affordable, but it's also affordability gives versatility. So when you pay $120 for a shirt and when you pay $20 for a shirt, how you feel, how you act, and how you behave, well, not behave, but the things you do change. So if you're just wearing comfortable clothes, you might be more willing, to go out and do something that's dirty or something outside or whatever it may be, right? But if you're wearing dress clothes or you're wearing expensive clothes, you're going to change. But also in saying that, like your mentality and your mindset does change between the clothes you wear. So how we dress ourselves and how we express ourselves is a reflection and has a very deep influence on how we think and how we operate. Okay. So if you wear sweatpants to the office and you work in sales and you think you're a high performer, you're not. You're not. Okay. You'll never be a high performer in sweatpants because a high performer does not disrespect themselves that way. Okay. If you're a high performer, you always are on. You always want to be at your best. You're always ready to take any opportunity. If you wear sweatpants to the office, you aren't a high performer. You're a low performer because you're not ready for anything. You're not going to talk with confidence in sweatpants because how can you feel confident in them? You might feel comfortable, but how can you feel confident? How can you feel confident when you look like shit? Now, that's just my opinion, but that's an opinion based on experience. Okay? There is nothing I hate more than going into a sales office and seeing cunts in fucking shorts. Okay? You wear shorts into an office, like that's not on. Like there's being comfortable, but when you're operating, you want to look good. You want to look congruent with what you're doing. And in saying that, you want your website to be congruent with your brand. So you want your content and your copywriting to be congruent with your brand. You want your pricing to be congruent with your brand. Okay, so we need to understand these factors because these are the measurements that we change to influence outcome. Okay, because it'll be one of three things. It's either going to be the copy on the website, the content on the website, or the price and offer. Okay. So if our content and our copy doesn't look congruent with what people are expecting, then they're going to have defenses up and there'll be increased like barriers of resistance because they will be trying to work out, is this a scam? Is this not? Is this a real company? Is this not? All these different things. So what we want to do, especially with how we present sales funnels, is we want them to be light, easy, fun. Okay. If we're doing, for example, like, let's say like high-end, like, let's say you develop portfolios and sell positions in those portfolios of investments, right? You want your sales funnel to be chic. You want it to be cutting edge. You want it to be high performing. Okay. You want it to be so meticulously like scrutinized that anyone that comes on there, if they dare say a word, like you will shout them down because they are lying. That's what you have to do if you're in the topper end, okay? But and that's just because of the buyers and what the buyers expect, okay? Because we're always catering to our buyers. So for example, when we look at e-commerce, 80% or 60% of buyers are women, somewhere in between there. But the thing is that women do majority of the purchases, especially for men. You know what I mean? So when we design and lay out our websites or our sales funnels, don't target men, target women. Unless you're in a male-dominated industry or a male-dominated product or a male-dominated business, don't target them. So investments, target men. Okay? Property, target men. Defense classes, target men. Gyms, target men. Don't target women. Because the thing is like, especially with like gyms and that, is like, it's an easier sell to sell a guy on why he should go to the gym opposed to a girl. Because it's just like men are used to physical work. After teenage years, majority of women pull back on physical work and go more into mental and caring. So the thing is with that, why try and get the hardest sale when you can just target the easy ones? And as a result of you performing and being so good and all these easy sales, other people take notice, other people take notice. And then it becomes a trend. Herd mentality. That's how all of e-commerce works. It's just herd mentality. It's all bullshit. Like it's all just all that drop shipping, e-commerce, all that is just shit products being pushed, you know, to make money. So for example, with this shirt and design, I've linked up with a local artist, and the goal behind this brand or this product is to help me get his art exposed. But also it's a way to help connect people through art and sort of increase the cult or decrease the cultural barriers, especially in Australia, because it's a lot of misunderstandings between like majority of white colonial Australia doesn't really actually understand, you know, Aboriginal culture or Aboriginal history. And, you know, schooling and the government and all societal bullshit. Yeah, they're the ones to blame that have been suppressing culture and not identifying that that is causing divide. It's ridiculous. The governments are idiots. But off that. So I'll go through step by step. So first up, we want to have our product sales video. So this is just introduction to the brand and the product. Okay, so something light, fun, a little video. You wanna have a bit of either talk over the video or you want to be talking in the video. Okay, we don't influence people through words. Okay, on pages like written words. Okay, we can only influence people through tonality and behavioral or facial expressions. So our body language, our facial expressions. Like how do the facial expressions I use link up to the tonalities that I use? Okay, because if they don't, it'll look incongruent and then I'll look like I'm lying. So the thing is that we can influence at a higher level if we increase video. Now, if we create interesting, engaging, and fun content, okay, that engages people, interests them, we're able to break through the barriers of them like losing interest, okay? And what happens is we get a second chance. Sales isn't, you know, making one mistake. It's a death by 1,000 cuts, as Jordan Belfort says. You know, like when we're failing in sales, it might be one thing you say in that video. It might be one word over here or one thing out of place here that is causing people to go, wait, bullshit detector up. What's happening? I don't know if I trust this product. People only buy from other people that they know, like, and trust. Okay. Online does change that in terms of, you know, for example, going to like a large faceless brand, like for example, like Wix, where you don't even know who the seller is. In terms of majority of people just look at the product opposed to looking at who's selling the product. So that's the difference, is when we take the human element out of the sale, it is only financial. You can only charge the market equilibrium price for that product. Okay. And usually that's just above cost goods. Okay. Because they don't have anything else to go on to make a decision. all they have to go on is your product, and then your price, and then your description of the product. Not much more, maybe reviews, maybe how many purchases have happened, but not much else. So you want to find ways that you can leverage on the human element and create connection with your buyers. So we want to connect with them through the content that we produce and how we deploy it. And then we want to connect with them through our sales funnel and how we explain and sell the product to them. Okay. So this is a bit of a description just about what we want is an introduction to the brand and the concept. Okay. And then here is going to be city chick, country chick. So same shirt, two different styles. Okay. So the accessories you use and things like that can change the perception of your outfit. Okay. That's a little concept I had. And then we've got our two-step ordering form. So where they can just bang, buy it right there. As we go down, now this is our showcase video. So this is going to be, for me personally, will be an introduction to the artist and the artist's story, just about how they came to, one, develop an understanding of art and how to create it, but two, how they developed a passion for it and sort of how they developed a way to speak and express and tell stories through paintings. Okay, so it's a really, really good emotional, it's not a hook, because we're not giving them a snippet, we're giving them the full thing. Okay, so a hook is when we just give them that little snippet that draws them in, and they've got to come in to get the full story. This is giving them the full story. So what we want to do here is we really, really, really want to connect with our audience. Okay, we want them to feel something about what they're going to wear. We want them to feel something about the product, the service, your business, your brand. Like, what are they going to feel because they made this purchase? Okay. This is where we want to start building it. And in all of our content, that's what we're building. And in our marketing, okay, our marketing is very specific to how we communicate so that our sales funnel is going to be congruent with how we've been communicating in marketing. Okay, there's nothing worse than someone doing content marketing on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and that sort of draws you in because you're figuring out, or you're learning all this stuff, and you get over to their sales video and it's very short, sharp, and it's direct sales. It's incongruent with how they've been acting, because in one hand they give, and now they just take. I want. I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that. So you want to avoid that, and we want to indirectly sell at specific points, and then we want to use specific signals to to condition behavior. Okay, so for example, in our first thing, like in all of this, we just want to be making offers. Okay, so we want to be asking people like, hey, would you support this brand? Would you support this product? Would you support this, this business or whatever? And what we're doing is we want to just have like buy signal, so that when someone's coming through, we're not getting to the very bottom of the page to get a buy signal. Okay, because we want to, get them used to, like, hey, you're on here because we would love to sell you this shirt. We would love for you to enjoy this product. Okay, so now we got to get that out there in ways to where it's obvious, because if it's not obvious, it doesn't end well for your sales. Okay, so we don't want to have too much. So for example, the content and the copyright that we use, we want to have it as like long form content, or like we want to be giving them like honest truth, and it's more about emotional intelligence selling. So where we're understanding and trying to build a relationship with that customer by the language and the content we use, okay, and how we present information and all of that. But on the other hand as well, okay, at the same time, like they're here for a reason, we're here for a reason. We want to sell them a product. So we can't be shy about that. We've got to just say like, hey, we've got this product. Here's why I believe that it would be good for you. Because if you believe this, this, and this, and you enjoy this, this, and this, and you like the look of the product, well, then it's a great fit. Okay. So I'll keep going down and we'll get to that part. So when we have our artist showcase, or this could be our product if we wanted, or if we wanted to have like an explainer video on the product or something like that. And then this video up here is more of our marketing video or our advertisement video, where we're introducing the brand and we're sort of, showcasing. For the shirts, it'll be the model in, out and about and things like that, and just showing the versatility and the different applications you can have with it, and the different places you can go, because that's the message that I want to underline, especially in one form of the content. So there'll be 4 or 5 themes. One will be on the like where you can go with it, like what you can do with it in terms of how versatile it is, how you can use different accessories to change the look, okay, to change the complete design of the shirt and all of that sort of stuff, okay. Another one is how you can dress it up with accessories, how you can do your makeup, all of that, because chicks love that. So give them what they enjoy, fun, quick ways that you can, easily dress yourself up to be a 10 out of 10 at home in 20 minutes or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a makeup person. I haven't done makeup. I don't jam around with that stuff. But then the other one is going to be around like travel and getting out there and traveling to different like locations and stuff. So for example, if the theme is 2 offers, city chick, country chick, going to city, create content, get going to high-end restaurants, going to rooftop bars, going to this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So going to these extravagant places, right? And being able to be dressed up. But there is a caveat to that, and it does have to be a high-quality product for that. So what we can do is we can bring it down a couple of runs, going out to dinner, going out for drinks, going out to a concert, going out, so we don't have to go, suit and tie events. We can bring it back to sort of like, your nicer venues or your nicer establishments, going out to a 4 or 5 star restaurant, not a Michelin star, but a 4 or 5 star, going out to a nice, fun bar, pub, club, whatever it may be, going out to like festivals, day events, things like that, going to the markets, like show the different ways that you can enjoy the product in the city. And then the other one is country chick. So showcasing different ways. So introducing cattle, introducing horse riding, things like that. Like what are some iconic things that you think about in the city? What are some iconic things you think about in the country? And then it's like, go out, find out, do a bit of research, come up with some theses and hypotheses on what you think, and then go do market research and talk to people. You know what I mean? It's how we structure, how we do things. That's what gives us success. So getting back to it. So now we're at the part of our offer or our value stacker. So, you know, if you're selling a product, this is where we can create out an offer for that product. So if it was a course, then we can have workshops, we can have books, we can have PDFs, like cheat sheets, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And we can list that in there. Or we can do an emotional value stacker where we put in all the feelings we want them to feel while they're using the product. When they're reading it, potentially that narrative will add it in. You know what I mean? To get them chemical responses, that dopamine, that like serotonin, you know, all of those, because we want to influence their brain chemistry with the language patterns we use. That's a fun thing. Because what we're able to do, and we can get this across very well with like video and stuff like that. Because you ever notice you listen to Tony Robbins or something like that, or you listen to a motivational speaker or a speaker in general that is telling a heartbreaking story, or they're telling an inspiring story or something like that. And just them talking about it, you know what I mean? Because of the inflections of the voice, because of, you know, all these different factors, like you create an emotional connection to the words that they're saying. And that is very powerful. So that is quite important because we want to be taking them down this sales funnel of creating an experience so that we can change their state. Okay, so that we can make them happier, so that we can inspire them, so that we can make them like feel grateful or something like that, make them feel confident. Whatever your product does for the person, we want to recreate and replicate that in our value stacker, because essentially that's what we want them to feel. Because if they feel that, okay, and even though they don't have it yet, if they feel that's the outcome, like that's hardwired into their brain now. They feel that opportunity. So there's a difference between knowing and understanding. Knowing is logically knowing the information and knowing the cost benefit and all of that. And understanding is being able to understand it at an emotional or a physical or a feeling based level. So you experience it when you understand it. Like if you understand how to ride a bike, you experience it. Like you know how to ride that bike because all you do is look back to experience. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to utilize, okay, for those feelings, what are the language patterns that unlock that feeling for the majority of these clients? And how can we curate that so that they have the best experience on our sales funnel with our product, in any engagement with us, watching our content? Okay. That's what we focus on. Because if we can do that, purchasing is just a byproduct. Like if you make someone feel amazing by them just shopping on your website, okay, like they're going to want to buy. They don't understand why they want to buy, but they just want to buy. Okay. The thing is fun, quirky, things like that. Like you can look at any, like look through any industry, look at marketing, look at content creators, look at a range or large variety of different variables in that space, okay? And you'll identify high performers, okay? And then you'll identify the strategies that they use and what they try and do. And one of the big things is creating an amazing experience. Okay. Because if you create an amazing experience that stays with someone, it doesn't go away, but also certainty for a product may wane. And so may your feelings about that product. But we don't buy based on logic, we buy based on emotion. There's no point selling logically. It doesn't make sense. Unless you are literally the lowest price and no one can get near you, you ain't got a shot. Okay? So that's what we want to do here as one of our sort of final ones. And then down here is the next sort of area is just going to be either other or similar products that are going to come out in the future for me personally, or it'll be different designs that are going to come out in the future. And potentially I may have a option for people to like send in an email and say, I'd love to have this on this color, like send in feedback and stuff. So we can utilize that to create chains of feedback or anything like that. Or you could just have like, you could have your product in different applications with just some information on there that helps build a logical case. Because while people don't purchase based on logic, or they don't purchase because of logic, you require logical, like it needs to logically make sense, the idea. Otherwise, what'll happen is you'll make a decision and then you'll start freaking out because you don't even understand if it even makes sense to make that decision. So the problem with that is that increases buyer's remorse, but it also increases negative events with your consumer. So we want to minimize that by educating our consumer and taking them on a journey that leads to them purchasing. Okay, an experience that ends with the purchase. Alrighty, so that's just a little bit on how I've personally frameworked this project and the sales funnel. I'll do another update with it when I've got all content and copy and it's ready to launch. And basically you'll see that while this looks like while it will probably end up, the colors will be a lot softer and they'll probably be closer matched in terms of they won't be so contrasting. And then basically content and color of the words will probably change. So one big thing is if you get into web design, so you want to be able to build sales funnels and websites, you've got to understand the psychology of colors, because you don't want to be shooting yourself in the foot by utilizing the wrong color to the wrong message. Okay. So like, don't do that, but also remember congruency. We want everything on the page to flow. When we have this fully done up, we want it to be a seamless experience, not a website. That's what a sales funnel is, a seamless experience. Okay. And it's a highly effective, if the experience is highly effective and your messaging and your content, your copywriting and your offer and your product are all highly tuned, like these things have 80, 90 to 100% conversion rates. It just depends on your marketing's targeting. So how are we pushing traffic there? Is it the right kind of traffic? Do we need to educate them prior to them coming to our sales funnel? So for example, if we've got a more complex product or service, okay, in terms of, let's say we're doing investment or like share investment portfolios or real estate, or maybe we're going into NFT investments or Bitcoin, crypto. So what we want to do is we want to utilize our content to really educate in-depthly, okay, with the basics, not the most complex, but the basics. We want to get them up to a base level so that when they hit the sales page, they understand what you're saying. Okay, so when they hit that funnel, they jump in, they're up to speed. So what you want to do in terms of that is you want to avoid doing hook offers, and you want to slow down on your offers until you build out enough content to educate people. Once you have that content and somewhere to send them or something to send them, then you start utilizing that content as your hooks. You know what I mean? So if you're in property, create a investment guide. Create a property guide of the region or the town you're in or the city, and then go out and offer it to people for their contact details. It's a simple thing, but it's just a lead magnet. But what it does is if you give out high value, like highly valuable, highly actionable information that is highly specific to the product itself or your business or your brand, what will happen is once you educate people, they will buy, and they will just keep buying because you've already helped them so much that with giving them high value information, that's actionable, right? Especially in investments and stuff like that. If you give people ways to move before the crowd, they will see that as a competitive advantage. Therefore, they will pay a much higher price, and there's a much larger exclusivity position in that. But also, if you don't go down the route of charging, like out the arse for it, then what you can do is you move down towards being the thought leader or the leader in the industry, because everyone refers to your information. Okay, so when everyone refers to your information, you become the source in the space. Okay, think real estate, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Tom Panos, every day of the week. Every day of the week. While he does do like his boot camp and his courses and stuff like that, if you jump on his socials, you'll see he gives a lot of his best content and best information and honest information out for free, because that's like, one, it's part of helping people, but the other thing is it's if you cover information and you put a price on it, like if someone else doesn't cover that information and gives it out freely, you now have zero ability to compete, because they're giving it for free and you're asking for money. Now, there are some clauses to that. If you do have a high performance rate, or you have very, very specific problem solving or abilities to create solutions or create opportunities or create like great investment portfolios, whatever it may be. Like if you've got the way to apply that information at a very high level and very effectively and consistently, then what will happen is you're okay like charging a lot for it. You know what I mean? But if you're mediocre at it and then you're trying to charge for it and other people are giving it out for free, you ain't got jack. So mastery is key. All right. Well, that's just me talking a little bit about my sales funnel. And yeah, I'll give you an update when it's further along, which should be hopefully in a couple of days or a week at the most, because I just need to get products. So part of the MVP product is, or process is, how do you sell 1,000 shirts with 0 shirts? You don't. So you need one. That's all you need. 20, 30 bucks. You know, and what's 1,000 shirts? Depending on if it's $39.95, that's 39,000. You know what I mean? Off a $30 investment. You don't need to invest heavily. It's how do you get it there as quick as possible? So the downside is at the start, there is a week or two of delays before you can get up to having an offer, or at least a high quality offer, because you don't have the high quality content yet. So yeah, so you use that time to really refine and really nut out some of the bolts and look for what are some of the like obstacles that are coming in the near future. Where are some of the potholes, or where are some of the hazards? And let's start preparing for them in that downtime. That way, once you get the product, you get the content, you're up and running. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is pretty exciting for me because I think it's highly enjoyable to create these kind of concepts. And then the goal is to take a strategy, formulate it, and then take it to market and see how it performs. That is what Alpha Wolf Consulting is, and it's all purely my strategies based off information that I've learned through education, you know, from the greats, but also it's always got to be your understanding of it. Your, you know, you're not trying to recreate the top performers who are currently in the market. Okay, you're trying to take the information that they've found and find your way of maximizing efficiency, or your way of making it unique to you. Okay, so it influences you, but it doesn't dictate you. That's a key thing that a lot of people don't understand, and they just try and recreate everything. And that's very, very passionless. All right, well, that's me done. Well, thank you so much. See ya.